Hello, and welcome to the channel. So you're wanting to get into the Planet Zoo franchise mode, but you're not sure where to start. Well, you've come to the right place. So first we're going to set up our zoo. Click over here on the franchise tab. We're going to open a new zoo. We're going to select what biome we want. I personally like tropical, so that's what I'm going to pick. You can pick wherever you want to be and whatever climate you want to be. I'm going to go with Oceania. I'm also going to go on medium difficulty. You can feel free to change it. There's a lot of difficulties here. And we're going to name this one Learn2Zoo. That'll go with the playlist name that I'm making. Let's dive right in. And just like that, welcome to your new zoo. Your first step you're going to want to take is going to be to pause time. So on PC you could hit P or you can hit the pause button. I'm not sure the controls on console. I do apologize for that, but I've only ever played this game on PC. So the first steps. Well, you've got all this land and this one sad little building. We're gonna want to build out. Everything on this side of the white line is ours. You can't edit anything outside of it, which I kinda wish you could, but we understand. First steps, we're going to talk about the grid system, and there's no better way to introduce pathing than on the grid system. So you're going to hit your path tool, select what kind of flooring you want. I'm going to choose something bright and colorful so you know what I've placed. And I'm going to hit the select grid button, which will bring up this square when you hover over path pieces. So I'm going to select from the beginning building here, and that way everything in my zoo will align to this building. So let's go like that, change the path so you can see where we're beginning. On another note, there's another type of path. So over here in path, you have your standard civilian pathing. Anybody can walk on it. It gets you from point A to point B, but staff pathing is a little bit different. Now, this is a path only staff members can walk on, and that's important because your customers do not want to see any staff-related buildings. They go full Karen if they think they catch a glimpse of like a staff room or a trade center or even a veterinary surgery. For whatever reason, these customers do not like it, so we're going to build our staff path out and away from our main plaza. This main plaza is going to be pretty in the end, but in the beginning you want to prioritize profit over pretty. So don't worry too much about making things perfect, let's just worry about the profits. Now that I've got this all built out over here, we're going to talk some staff buildings. We're going to go to our facilities tab. We're then going to click on this button here that says staff facilities, and it'll bring up all this. To keep things simple, I'm going to turn off blueprints so you can only see the basics. Everybody should have these. The number one building you need is this one. This is called the Animal Trade Center. And this little guy allows you to bring animals into your zoo for your exhibits, your habitats, sell animals, what have you. Now a trick with these is if you don't want to individually free place them like this works for any building piece that is a snappable grid piece. You can just go and line it up with this, select group 6 to add to, or whatever your group might be, and I'm going to place my building where it snaps on the path. Everything is good. The next most important building will be your keeper hut. Keepers are who look after your animals, so you're going to need all these people helping to keep your zoo running. So I'll place that down. It's still snapped on the same grid. We're going to need a staff room so everybody can relax and unwind. And then we're going to want to put in a workshop. This is who's going to repair your barriers, your fences. When we hire staff, I'll explain a little more. But those are the 4 buildings you absolutely need to start your zoo. Don't worry about anything else, the large buildings, the quarantines, the vet surgery. That's for later when you start putting in habitat species. But for where we're starting, we're going to be using the exhibits. So therefore, they're non-habitat species, they are low maintenance and high profit. Okay, here's one of the exhibits I was telling you about. So this is just a standard exhibit. And because it's on the grid, it is still snapping to paths. If you're having any trouble with your exhibits, like your keepers aren't feeding the animals in them, do make sure your path has fully connected. There are bugs in the game still. This happens to be one of them. So I like to start with anywhere between 2 and 4 of these, but for this quick tutorial, let's just go with 2. There we go. We have our 2 exhibits down. But that's not the only place people are going to spend their money. So we want to make sure that all their needs are met. We want to make sure they have somewhere to eat. I'll just use a chief beef. We want to make sure they have somewhere to drink. I'll use... what's the beginner one? Gulpy? Gulpy. Some of these you'll have to unlock through research. I'm trying to just keep it as basic as possible. They like to spend their money at information centers. They need a bathroom. And then anything else you want to put in here is up to you. So you go in, even put down 2 more exhibits. But just for the sake of this video, you can see both fit there. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to keep it simple so the video can be short and concise. It's a very basic layout here. And there's a reason I'm not expanding far, and let me just touch on that really quick. This is your entrance area. I will swap to my terrain tool so I can show you why we're staying as close to this building as possible. When we go to our heat map and I look at our power source, this is a free power source that you actually get from the entrance gates. You can go ahead with your terrain tool, outline it if you like by dragging like sand color or something on it. That way you know where your boundary is without always having to go into your heat map. That is my free electricity. This doesn't cost me anything. This is no maintenance. This is pure free power. Anything I build in here will be fully powered. It'll all have electricity. It'll be operational. Excellent. Now let's talk about the exhibits really quick. Now for money, this is where fast breeding species come in. If you have the DLC that allows you to have butterflies, perfect. You'll put in a walkthrough exhibit for $9,000, and then you'll fill it with butterflies, and you'll make money. But not everybody has all the DLC, so let's talk about species that are very good to put into a zoo. You want things that are going to reproduce quickly. What do we have in the store today? Perfect. So I've just bought my first exhibit species. Now, the female is nothing to write home about. Her stats are just okay. Orange in longevity, which means she has 33% of a lifespan. Fertility's at 67%, so that dictates how often, how many babies it has, etc. Now, the male is a gold ranking. His stats can pass on to the offspring. So if you only get one that's good, then make sure it's a species that reproduces in big quantities. Here we go. So I have taken my stored animals in my exhibit trading tab from the market, from my storage, to this box right here by the toilet. Because who doesn't like to hear frogs in the bathroom? Alright, it says up here that exhibit 2, we're gonna call it Froggos. It is operational. That's good information. You're gonna want to name it so you know which exhibit might have trouble. You're gonna look, here's a tab that tells you the animals you have in here. I have 2 frogs. Here's your layout. With research, you will unlock enrichment for your species. And it'll change. Let me just zoom in a little here. It'll change what the inside of your tank can look like. Over here's climate. This is one of the next most important controls. You'll see that it has a temperature gauge and a humidity gauge. And it'll say the current temperature, current humidity, and you can set the percentiles here. Where it says right above current temperature 35, you can actually drag this. Goes all the way to 50, down to minus 20. This frog likes between 26 and 31, so we'll just do 27. The humidity it likes is between 80 and 90%, so 83% is perfect. I don't need to change that. The Customize tab, you can close off your windows. Like that. You can add textured walls, or not textured walls. This is a very important step over here, is the management tab. If your animals get too crowded, they are unhappy and they can get sick and it'll cause no end of problem for your zoo. So we're going to turn on the manage population button here. But how do you know how many animals you need in each enclosure? Well, you just hit the Zoopedia button from your tab. You can go here to species data. They like to be in groups of between 4 and 7. So you can keep up to 7 of these frogs in one tank at a time. They do not live very long, and they have 1 to 4 offspring per mating. They reproduce very easy, that's another big thing. So we'll go over here and back to our management tab. I would like to keep 3 males. I would like them to be stored in Trade Center for now. Later you can choose sell for cash. And then I do appeal and the lowest first. That way my lowest quality frogs will go to my trade center for easy selling. For females, I will also do 3. You could do 4, I'm just going to do 3 to keep things the same. Store in trade center, appeal, lowest first. Perfect. So with that all set up, this is what it should look like. Your management population should be on with the appropriate numbers. Any customizations you want should be done. Make sure your climate is under control. Any layout items will give an enrichment bonus to your little friends. As you can see how it changes there, the layout goes up. This is where you go to see how many animals are in your exhibit, and this is the overview. Right now, everybody's mad because the temperature is bad and their social health is bad. That will be fixed in no time. These are frogs and they reproduce like rabbits. So let's do one more. We're going to click on our exhibit. It's currently empty. We're going to view the market. Let's see what they have. As you'll see once again, I picked 2 group creatures, a male and a female, and again, the male, impeccable stats. The female, less than ideal, but she'll work. So I'm gonna select them both. After purchasing them, send them to my zoo, and let's run through this. And just like that, another enclosure ready to go. This is going to attract all the people. They're going to come look at our little friends. It's going to be great. Now for a little extra profit. I'm going to put down another way to get some money. Donation bins. If zoos didn't get donations, they wouldn't run very well, and this zoo is no different. So if your clientele are happy with your zoo and they like the animal they see, they will throw money into the nearest donation bin. This is a big boost to your cash. And the more educated your viewer is, the more cash they'll pay. You also want to make sure that once you put down stores, any vendor store, people are going to become heathens and start throwing their trash on the ground. So we're going to nicely place down a couple courtesy bins, just so they remember to be human about it and not make a big mess. Before we open up, we're just going to check our pathing one more time. So now that we have everything placed, we can open up our zoo. And we can watch people as they come in. Before we open up though, I want to run you through just a couple more things. Here in the nature tab, you have things you can decorate with. So you can make your zoo very pretty, very ugly, whatever your heart desires. I'll put down an apple tree. The more things you put down, whether it be props, like the centerpieces, anything like that is going to boost the appeal rating. Guests like something that's pretty, so you can make your zoo nice and pretty. But again, profits over prettiness. That's where we're starting. I don't want you guys running in and getting into a zoo, biting off more than you can chew, and losing all your money and feeling bad and turning off the game and never coming back. So profits over pretty at the beginning. Over here in our zoo tab, my zoo is currently open. I'm going to adjust the hours so that it stays daylight. This does not affect your finances. Down here is your ticket prices. Your guests will complain if the tickets are too cheap, so keep an eye out. You can always boost the price. It goes up for every so many species you put in. Over here you have all the animals that are in your zoo. You can enable contraceptives. I don't recommend this until your zoo is getting too big for its britches. Now for the final step before we can really open: staffing. We want one caretaker, one keeper, and a mechanic. They're gonna float in the air until I hit play. Your vendors will automatically hire with your stores. You don't need to concern yourself with it. If you delete too many stores though, you're gonna have extra vendors. You're gonna need to remove those. Now let's watch our guests come on in and experience the zoo. You can click on your guest to get their thoughts. This guy thinks the zoo ticket price is great. This guy agrees. So far, everybody's thoughts are the same. The zoo ticket price is great, which means I could probably get away with bumping it, but I won't. We'll let them come in, spend their money, watch them admire the animals. Alright, the money's starting to come in. Let's see here in the donations. We've got $62 there. We've got $198 over here with the fire salamander. 43 people have seen it versus 20 people seeing the frogs. We've got sales happening in our stores. We can change prices, all sorts of things. The bigger your zoo gets, the more things you can mess with. But for now, profits over pretty. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method is the best way to play Planet Zoo. We're already up to $18,000 after building all of this. We still have room to put in more exhibits. I'm just not going to for the tutorial. Let's see if we speed up some time for a little bit here, and let me show you how these exhibits actually work. Just an interesting observation here. I'll pause time to show you. I haven't mentioned it yet, but just like habitats, you can set up preferred viewing on your exhibits. By closing off the walls, your guests won't hang out where these guys are to stare at the animals because they cannot see the animals. But this one, where it's open, we have groups of people congregating around to get a little look in from this angle. So if you want to control where your guests go, make sure to use the walls in your exhibits. Just a pro tip. Alright, on with the time skip. Here we go. Something interesting has happened. We'll keep the time going. We have unlocked a challenge. Adopt exhibit species for $1,000. So adopt and place 2 different exhibit species. I'll claim that. That's worth it. Now we have a thing to get info center profits and guest numbers above 300. These will keep happening as you go. While we're in the challenges tab, let me just talk about the community challenge. It's just completed. With the community challenges, everybody in the community gets a chance to work towards a common goal. In this case, it was hippopotamus breeding, bronze rating, and better. So the community needed to release this many thousands and thousands of bronze rated hippos. I am not counting zeros today. No, sir. You unlock all sorts of rewards for doing them. So if you see one that you think you can do, go for it. Heck, even open a second zoo just to do your challenges. The rewards are really great. Alright, so while we were waiting for time to travel, I have found a really good female fire salamander, so I'm going to send her into my zoo. You should always be looking for upgradable species. So instead of one with low stats like this, you can find maybe something with a gold rating. The better your animals are, the healthier your babies will be. And there we have it. Our first extra baby in our zoo. It was automatically sent to my trade center. His name is Carlos. He's not even a year old yet. His appeal is 1,125 and he's from my zoo. If I click on him, his longevity is low, his fertility is high. But you'll notice right here, I can quick trade him. He's worth $145 on his own. Now multiply that by 3 females having babies. You're gonna get a lot. They can have up to 4 babies each, so you can have up to 12 per round. So we're gonna quick trade him to the market. And that is how I make my income. Alright, while time is going crazy, I'll show you my personal favorite exhibits to use. I am a tremendous fan of this big boy. Introducing the walkthrough exhibit. I like making these into big butterfly houses. They are very expensive, but they will make you even faster profit than what you've got going on already. So we'll just, because we're going for profit over pretty, we'll just link it up like this. Quick, cheap, and easy. Pause my game while I set up the butterflies. Gonna request exhibit animals I've already purchased. Look at all these guys rolling in. This is why butterflies are insane. Gonna put my 3 cloudless sulfurs in there. I'm going to adjust their temperature to 25 degrees. You can customize this, so sync your materials. I like to go with no barriers, no floor, no curtains. I like to make this into an open concept garden. That's just a personal preference. You do whatever you want. So I'm gonna do 10 of these. 10 of these. Appeal lowest first. Appeal lowest first. You can always buy more than just a couple like I just did. The more you have, the more overpopulation you get. Money is money. I'm gonna give them a couple enrichment items. And let's watch the population explode. So, time has been going for a hot minute here. I'm up to $24,000 profit even after spending almost $10,000 on butterflies in the walkthrough. Purchased a couple more butterflies to speed things along. And if I were to go and sell everybody in here, that's an extra $5,000. I've made $5,000 on my zoo so far. With just these. If I keep my high-rated ones... Oh, here comes another batch. Without taking out my high-rated animals, we're approaching 6,000. I always keep my creatures with their metal. I sell everybody else. Just in case I need them for later. Now another really cool thing with the butterflies. There's multiple species of them. And you can mix and match them. We don't have any good ones right now. I'll take this pair. I'm gonna toss them in. Pause time. Pause time first before tossing animals in, or else weird things happen. Gonna manage their population. I would also like 10 of each of these. Sort exactly how you want. This is just how I choose to do mine. Both populations have about 10 each. Climate is perfect. Layout is excellent. We can continue on with time. Just like that, we're at $30,000. The money is slowly coming in. Let me go into here. I have 32 animals in my storage. If you see, some of my butterflies are coming up with higher ratings now because I've made the bloodline better by choosing healthier animals. So I'm going to quick trade these for another 5 grand. And there you have it. The layout to start earning your early game money. You can add more exhibits as you want. And in the next video, we'll start by talking about our first habitats and changing our layout once we have some more money. But for now, thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.